very good morning to you. This is Kakaaki Social. I'm Obozeghie. Now, the 7-man panel at the Supreme Court for the 2023 presidential election all agreed on Thursday and trashed the appeals of the PDP, their candidate Atiku Abubakar, that of the Labour Party, plus their candidate Peter Obi. As a matter of fact, Obi's case was dismissed in not more than 5 minutes, and that's because the court said his wasn't very different from Atiku's, except for the issue of double nomination of Kashim Shettima. Now, on that, the Apex Court said that the matter was already dealt with on 26 May 2023 and so cannot allow the matter to be litigated again. Failure to transmit results to IREF did not substantially affect the outcome of the election. And on the Chicago State University records of Tinubu, it held that the period for bringing in fresh evidence had since expired and cannot be extended. The Apex Court upheld the ruling by the appeal court that a candidate does not need to get at least 25% of vote in the FCT to be declared as Nigeria's president. So all the issues raised were resolved against the appellant, who have separately reacted. For the PDP, Nigerian Supreme Court failed to uphold constitution. They allowed forgery, perjury under guise of technicalities, while the Labour Party thinks that the executive has hijacked the judiciary and the legislature. A sad day for Nigeria, and they've resolved to leave Tinubu for the masses court and let Nigeria's judge Supreme Court ruling. And of course, for the winner, Tinubu, this is a tonic that will spur him to action. So 2027 becomes the next battleground for this same set of people and others who might be interested to join the race the next election year. So let's see how this went down. Let's have some reactions to this. Omo Abodi says, all the top 3 candidates and their supporters undermined INEC and the electoral process. They bribed, snatched ballot, intimidated voters, mass-thumped ballot, and did anything and everything to emerge the winner. They created their own rules of the game, but Tinubu outclassed them all, and that is why the bewildered umpire, INEC, picked him as winner. Case closed. For another user, Uche, he says they clearly refused to mention the $460,000 Tinubu forfeited for drug trafficking because that would nail him. And he says, just laughable. For this human rights lawyer, F. says the approach of the Apex Court to the issue of non-compliance tends to give INEC unquestionable power. I'm worried about the implications for our country and democracy. How do we hold INEC accountable? How? The courts are reluctant to do so, and it seems that amendments to the Electoral Act are not sufficient. He continued to say that even if there is evidence that IREF was deliberately sabotaged, it doesn't seem to matter. His lordship said, irrespective of the reason for failure to transmit results, it cannot ground a petition. What's the whole point of the new Electoral Act? For Wisdom Hill, it says, with this judgment now, I will expect the Abuja indigenous people to have a governor in FCT. If anyone by chance is occupying a ministerial position in FCT, it is an illegal appointment. Well, since it doesn't matter what happens in FCT, 25% or not. Now, a state high court sitting in Enugu has nullified the 2070 proscription of the indigenous people of Biafra, that is IPOB, as a terrorist organization. The defense headquarters were the ones who suggested that in 2017 it was approved by President Muhammadu Buhari and then declared by a federal high court here in Abuja. On this matter now, the presiding judge, who is Anthony Onovo, ruled that the proscription of IPOB is a violation of the fundamental human rights of the group's leader, Nnamdi Kanu. The case was against the 5 governors of the 5 southeastern states, the federal government, Nigeria's president, and the Attorney General of the Federation. Now, all of them have also been ordered to pay Nnamdi Kanu 8 billion naira for stressing him out when he was simply exercising his human right. How did this meet netizens today or yesterday? Another court order. This user says, good one, but not the first time court has vindicated the innocent man. Man in chains doesn't celebrate compensation. Set him free first of all. And also in reaction, Annie says it doesn't make sense anymore because they have killed a lot of people, tagging them terrorists. And final reaction is coming from Goss, who says Nigerian government doesn't obey court orders. Stop all these court rulings. So let's see if this is one of the many ones that they are alleging that the court does not obey. And finally, a male student of the University of Port Harcourt, Uniport, Damian Collins Okoligwe, has allegedly killed and dismembered a schoolmate, Justina Tiffany Otwene, who is said to be his girlfriend. Now, the police announced yesterday that a neighbor of the 24-year-old alleged murderer had reported the case when an unbearable smell wouldn't cease from the boyfriend's room. Now, the operatives, on arrival at the apartment of the guy, forcefully opened the door, and the Ghana must go back containing a lifeless body was found. Now, the suspect is insisting that he didn't kill the 21-year-old girl. She had a deep sleep and passed on from there after she immediately fell sick on getting to his own house. He's adding that her dismemberment was when he was making effort to contain her body in the Ghana must go bag before trashing the corpse because he knew the police would blame him. Meanwhile, the victim's elder brother is demanding for justice for his sister, the only daughter of the family, as he alleges that she was kidnapped.
She was 9 years. Okay, then who was the one that dismembered her? Okay, who is staying in that house with you? Only you. So if you are staying in the same house with a woman, and it became like that, and you did not report, and then went now, and then they started dismembering the person, and you were still there, staying with him, and she started smelling, and you were still there. You were sick. Which hospital were you? Did you go to receive a treatment? Pharmacy that you took the medicine.
She will be forever remembered. She was very lovely, very nice, the only daughter of the family. So it's a hard one on us, but God will help us.
All right, then. So that's how we call it a day today on Kakaaki Social. Thank you so much for being a part of it. We really hope that the family recovers from this. I don't know, only daughter. Even if she wasn't the only daughter, but nobody should die like this, you know. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Rena. Just a very sad note to end it there with, and the fact that it's not even about being the only daughter or not. She's a human being, and to be dismembered like that without, cautionary to humanity is just very sad.
Sometimes things like this look like fairy tale. I just find it difficult to believe they are real. Anyway, Rena, do have a great